Hey everyone, it's May, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the tips and tricks to surviving CSULB that I've kind of figured out over my 2 years at that school. If you're new here, my name is May. I just finished my second year at CSULB majoring in English, and yeah, I got a request for this video a little while ago, and I did my best to compile some of the things that I thought of. I asked my mom about it, I asked some friends, and I might do a second volume if I get enough more ideas, but I don't want the video to be too long, so yeah, let's just get into it. This isn't in any particular order, they're not split up into categories, they're just things that I thought of. So one thing is parking. I don't personally drive to school, but I know a lot of people in my classes and whatnot that do, and everyone just talks about how much parking is an actual nightmare, and some people have actually missed class because they couldn't find a parking space. So I would recommend taking the bus, walking, or riding your bike if that any way possible. But if you absolutely have to drive, then I would recommend getting there extremely early or just taking night classes, which is what my roommate from last year is doing because she's commuting now. She's just doing night classes because she doesn't want to deal with it, because either super early in the morning or evening you're not gonna have trouble finding parking, but during the middle of the day it's just a zoo. So that is that. Also, make sure you get your tap card from Brotman Hall. It's $5 and it's your pass to ride the bus, and you just have to pay for it once, and then if you lose it you pay for it again. I think now they're actually just putting a sticker on your ID card. I think we were the last class that got an actual physical tap card, but that's such a good deal. It's because you're a student, and it's great. The buses are really convenient, except when they don't come on time, that's a different story. Another thing is for enrollment. I'm in the honors program, so we get priority registration, but even with that, I still do this. Make sure when the schedule comes out, which is several weeks before you'll be registering, even more if you're not priority, you figure out what classes you need to take and create your schedule and put everything in your shopping cart so that when it's time for your enrollment appointment, you can just click enroll instead of having it be you're trying to put everything in your shopping cart right then, because everyone's enrolling at that time, and then you'll get your classes faster and you'll have a better chance of getting them if you already have it all set up, and it just makes it easier. So I would definitely recommend that. I think the only people that get priority registration are athletes, the honors program, seniors, and then if you're registered with Disabled Student Services, you also get priority registration. So there might be other groups, correct me if I'm wrong and you go to CSULB down in the comments, but yeah, otherwise you'll just be having a regular enrollment appointment. And this might kind of go without saying, but I thought I'd just put this in here anyway. Your first round of registration, you can only sign up for 16 units or less. So make sure that if you're planning on taking 18 units, 21 units, whatever, make sure you're getting all the classes that you absolutely need first, or the classes that are more likely to be filled up. You're taking, let's say, English 100. There's a bajillion sections of that class, so you should wait on that one. If it's going to take you over 16 units, wait on a class that's either not necessary. For me, I didn't register for my dance class the first time because it's going to put me at 17 units, but I know that there's still going to be space and it's not the end of the world if I don't get it, so I'm going to save that for round 2, So yeah, hopefully that made sense. And if all your classes are necessary and are going to fill up, I'm sorry. Just things that I would recommend checking out on campus. Go to the rec center. Even if you don't like to work out, I swear there's something there for everyone. There's a pool, even if you just want to sit by it and tan. There's beach volleyball, there's a rock wall. There's so many different fitness classes. They have everything from really hard yoga to really easy yoga. They have Zumba, which I love. That's my class right there. I think they might have Pilates. They have butts and guts. They have spin classes. I tried one of those, did not like it, but just try new things. And they have the regular workout machines, but it's so nice. And they have a track, the weight machines. I think we all know that when we graduate from college, we're not gonna be able to afford a gym like that. So just take advantage of it while you can. Also, the Japanese garden is really pretty. So I would check that out. If you haven't, it's sometimes can be kind of crowded with visitors, and they have weddings there all the time. But when there's not that many people there, it's a nice, peaceful place to be. If you're gonna be on campus a lot and you commute and you don't want to pack food from home, or that's too much of a hassle or whatever, the dining hall does have a commuter meal plan, which is 10 meals a week, so you can still eat at the dining hall even if you're not in the dorms. So it would be Monday through Friday, 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner, depending on what time your classes are. So that's convenient. It's probably, my guess is it's cheaper than probably buying stuff at the dining plaza or whatever. I would highly recommend finding your classes before your first day of class, especially if it's like your first time on the campus. I mean, once you've been on the campus for a semester, you pretty much know where everything is, or at least where the building is, if not the actual room. But I think that really helps. Like when I was a freshman, like my mom took me around and we found all my classes, and it seemed so big and scary that like knowing where they were, like seeing the room, made it less scary the next day. And then still I would always recommend leaving like early on the first day of class so that you have plenty of time to get there. Like I left with 30 minutes from the dorms for most of my classes, especially like for my dance class. I had never even been to the dance building before. I had no clue how to get to it. So like I left extra time. And even in the buildings, I do know, like, just leave extra time for the first day. You want to be on time. So I know that some people would probably give a different piece of advice on this, but I would seriously recommend getting your textbooks before school starts, because you can always return them. Like we have a 1 week or 2 week return policy or something. They'll tell you, it'll probably even say it when you get them, but you can go onto my CSULB before classes start and see what textbooks you need, and most of the time your teachers will have already posted their syllabi on Beachboard, so you can look directly at the syllabus as well and see what textbooks you're going to need. Some people would probably say like, oh look, don't buy your textbooks until you like see the syllabus, ask the teacher, and know for sure that you're going to use it, but 99.9% of the time we've used the textbook. Like I really can't think of a time that maybe there was like 1 or 2 textbooks I didn't use and they weren't like even expensive. The only thing is that if you're getting like a loose leaf textbook or something, don't open the shrink wrap until you know, because you can't return that. But otherwise, like the first week of class, it's so crazy at the bookstore because everyone waited until then to get their textbooks. Like if you have to pick another one up, or if you have to pick one up from Krishna Copies or whatever, that's fine, but at least have your textbook so that you're not going to get behind on your assignments. You don't have to wait in like a super long line. That's what I would recommend. Hopefully I can explain this one well. Trust your instincts over your advisor's instincts, because I really screwed myself over by listening to my advisor and not to myself one time, and I learned my lesson and trusted myself from then on out. When you're a freshman, you have mandatory advising, so you have your SOAR date, which is the summer before freshman year, where you are going to register for your classes, your first set of classes, and it's going to be very rushed. They're going to tell you can't use Rate My Professor, and they're going to like you're like a little newbie, you have no clue what you're doing, and they're going to tell you what they think you should do. And for my physical science without a lab requirement, I said that I kind of wanted to do astronomy, and the advisor was like, no, like I don't think you'd really like that, like it has a lot of math, and like everyone really likes natural disasters. Like we've gotten like really good feedback on that class, like it's just a class people generally like, and I was like, okay, like yeah, let's do it, whatever, even though it didn't sound that interesting to me, and that class absolutely sucked. Like it was probably the worst professor I've had at CSULB that taught that class. It was the worst thing ever. So then after that, I didn't like, definitely still listen to your advisor in terms of like, you absolutely need this class to graduate and you need to take this many units and such, like obviously they know like you know, your graduation plan, and I'm not saying like advisors are evil, but like I was trying to take these 2 literature classes at the same time, and the advisor was like, I really like wouldn't recommend doing that, like that's gonna be too much work. And it's like, I did it anyway, and yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was fine. Like I took like a whole bunch of AP and honors classes in high school and had extracurriculars. Like I knew that I could handle it, and I did. So like, know yourself, trust yourself, because they don't know you. You're just a number. You're just someone who's coming in for an appointment that they can check off the list. Like they don't know you as a person. They don't know like what you're capable of or what your strengths are, you know what I mean? So that's that. I'm not trying to bash on advisors. I'm just saying that like you're ultimately going to know what's best for you more than they do. Okay, so I was going through my footage editing this video and it like cut out the last part, so that's why I look different, because I'm refilming this. But the last thing that I was going to talk about in terms of tips and tricks was to take advantage of the resources on campus. For example, we have the Writer's Resource Lab, so if you need help writing an essay, that's a really good place to go. I personally have not found it to be too helpful. I went once, but I think for literature classes it's just different because it's kind of hard to have someone help you with an essay if they haven't read the book themselves. But if you have trouble with your writing, I feel like that's definitely something that's helpful, and it's like included in your tuition, so you're not like paying extra for it or anything like that. So that's a really good one. And also we have a tutoring center. It's called the Learning Assistant Center. It's in the Horn Center. I think they have like separate tutoring for certain colleges. Like I think there's business tutoring that's like separate and like STEM tutoring that's separate. And then we also have the CAP Center, which is like our like counseling and psychological services. You can go to therapy for like a certain amount of weeks, and then they try to like find a therapist that's off campus that's like affordable, because it's just such a high demand that you can't have like a therapist on campus like for your whole time there. I've done that, and I've also done group therapy, and you can do as many groups as you want. You can even do 2 at once. You can do one every semester, and there's like Understanding Self and Others is the one that I did, and if you want to hear about my experience with that, I have a video on that. I'll link it down below. I really liked it, and I'm actually thinking about doing another one next semester. There's an anxiety one, and there's like a women's, I want to say a women's support group, yeah. So there's a couple different ones, and I think that that's just really good, and once again, like, you're not paying for that extra, it's like included, so definitely take advantage of that. Oh, the other one is Disabled Student Services. If you have any sort of like learning disability or even just like test anxiety or something, like definitely register with them, because you can have more time for your tests and take them in like a separate room with like calming music or no music or whatever you want. I haven't done it, but I know friends that have like registered and they found it pretty helpful. Just letting you know that that's there, and you also get priority registration like I said earlier, so that's a perk. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions about CSULB, as always, leave them down below and I will do my best to respond to you. And please leave me video requests if you have any. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!